Hi, everybody, and welcome to a new edition of Newsmakers TV, on the air since 2014 with analysis and commentary about local news in Santa Barbara. I'm Jerry Roberts. It is Friday, January 26, 2024, and amazing but true, only 39 days until the March 5th primary and just 284 days until the November presidential election. Quick look at this morning's Real Clear Politics polling average shows Donald Trump leading Joe Biden by nearly 4 points nationally. And political betting markets give Trump a 44.7% chance of being elected compared to Biden's 33.3. So today's newsmakers word to remember: Svalbard. I know that you all know this archipelago of Svalbard is technically part of Norway, but the immigration laws don't apply there. So all you have to do is buy a plane ticket and move in with
Why
it.
are you telling everyone, Jerry?
Just because, in case anybody wants to get out of town when Donald Trump is elected again. All right. I want to welcome in this week's panel of top local journalists: Lily Dallow, digital content director for KEYT TV; Gwyn Lurie, editor-in-chief of the Montecito Journal; and as always, my running partner, Josh Molina, man of many hats. Lily, let's start with you. You had a couple of pieces in Newshawk this morning, profiles of homeless people that I guess you have met and spoken with in the course of doing a bunch of research on this issue. Talk about what you've been up to, and then we'll talk a little bit about point in time.
Yeah, it's been a goal of mine for a while now to do a story profiling, some people experiencing homelessness in town. Just because, it's such a common topic, and I'm sure you all remember when somebody tagged the highway sign that said Santa Barbara next exit, and somebody wrote underneath it, "Come see the homeless." Like, it's just been a very popular um topic, and I kind of wanted to get into, people always talking about the number. It's growing population. So I wanted to take a look at the people behind the number just to kind of remind everybody of the humanity of it all. Um, and that was my goal with this most recent story. The news angle was the point in time count, which took place on Wednesday. They had about 425 volunteers, which is a little bit more than they were shooting for. So they were happy with that turnout. So to work on the story, the Josh actually assisted me 2 weekends ago. We walked around Cabrillo, down right by the pier front. We met a group of people that live in that area. We had some really, insightful conversations. I was a bit timid going into it, but I warmed up, and I'm really thankful for the experience. And then that's
I
where we met
heard I heard
Stretch.
you took hot chocolate. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah. I kind of felt bad just going up to people and asking them to tell us their life story, and especially, people who don't, live in a house or have just they don't have access to the things that I do. So I wanted to make sure that they didn't feel like they were just getting chipped, and I wanted to put them in a comfortable environment to talk, and also, just offer them
Yeah,
something.
and the two profiles you ran this morning, one was a 50-year-old a woman who grew up in Santa Barbara, has lived in Santa
Yeah.
Barbara all her life, had a lot of life problems, and another fella almost her age who came here from elsewhere. And
Mhm.
it sounded to me, and maybe I was reading too much into it, that he kind of knew there'd be a pretty good deal here if he came here, or did he come for the weather?
He talked a lot about coming here for the weather. It sounds like it was mainly a decision that him and his ex-girlfriend made together. I think he was saying that his town just kind of wanted to push people who are homeless out, and
Well, that's
so
yeah.
he
He
could,
said he got a bus ticket. They got bus tickets
yeah, they
from.
handed out bus tickets.
That's a
Yeah,
good deal. Yeah,
yeah. So
Barber from
he took it.
Massachusetts. He came from.
Yeah, from Massachusetts. Yeah, he was a pioneer
Massachusetts
citizen.
handed out the bus tickets to get people out of there.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
that's surprising coming from Massachusetts. I would expect that from other places.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah, so he when we first went up to him, we, asked if we could interview him. He was like, "Oh, I don't really think you want to interview me. I have a very negative mindset." And but the more we talked, and I was trying to ask him questions about, like what was life like before he was homeless, he didn't really seem all that negative. I think he's sour about his recent heartbreak and about he doesn't like to follow rules,
he
but
was pretty clear he didn't want to work.
yeah, it became super clear that it was his choice, and that he's not, like, at the very end I put the quote in that he's not looking for pity. He doesn't want people to feel bad for him.
Now, is there a video component of this, or what?
We do have video, but fortunately that didn't make it into the article, but there is video of his interview.
You're going to post that on KYT?
I haven't actually talked about that, but that could be a possibility.
Yeah, go tell Jim
Um,
I said it was a good idea. Oh, that's right. Hey, Gwen,
Jerry,
yeah,
I
go
see where
ahead.
you're going with it, and he had back problems. Like he had serious physical pain. So
Well,
I
I'm
know I
only asking questions, Josh.
I didn't get the extent that he's like, I don't want to work, so let me live on the streets. I think he sort of got frustrated with life and said, forget it. I I can't get a job because I can't stand up. But Lily knows. I mean, I got that sense. I don't know. Did you get that sense that he was like
yeah.
just a quitter or no?
No, I was able to relate to it because I too struggle with, health issues and with my back. And so once he brought that up, he was talking about how, like, it was too hard to go into work, and it was just a lot of what he was saying was kind of hitting home, and I felt like I was really able to level with him. Like, I understand that that was his attitude and that he kind of just followed that. But yeah, but the woman, Josephine, that we spoke with on Wednesday was a very, very emotional interview. I sat down with her, and she opened up pretty quickly, and she had 11 kids. She is in and out of battling addiction. Anytime she brought up her daughters, she would start crying, and it was a very, very, like, moving conversation, and learning about kind of the little anecdotal stories just made it all the more real, of, her playing in AYSO and her going to Santa Barbara High School, and her parents got evicted when she was just a kid, and then they moved in with her grandparents on Ortega Street, and how she was saying that was like the party house, and all her aunts and uncles would come over, and they, like a giant family, they'd all um celebrate together. So it's just it I just wanted that to come through in the story and be like
The
they have
humanity.
relatable upbringings.
Yeah. Hey, Gwen, I wanted to give you props over for Eileen Reed's piece that ran a few issues ago about Hands Across Montecito, and she's involved with that group, and they go out and try to meet with homeless people and connect them with services. And the takeaway was, gee whiz, this is even in Montecito, and all these kinds of interesting things. So good piece by her, and thank you for publishing it, because I think it does show sort of the scope of what we're talking about in
Yeah.
terms of homeless issues. Hey, Josh, so the city council agreed to lend the housing authority $6 million to refurbish the Quality Inn in a $9.6 million project, which works out to $300,000 a unit. That's a pretty good deal, huh, for a homeless set of houses?
You're gonna make me work hard to, like, protect you from your enemies here, Jerry, because I know you're not anti-homeless. You're a
Well, I
compassionate.
just think there's been an extraordinary amount of money that has been spent on this issue and is unaccount. There hasn't been a lot of accountability about it.
Yeah, so so
That's what.
so yeah, that's absolutely true. I agree with you. I think that the housing authority would say this is a step in the right direction, because what they're doing is buying the Quality Inn Hotel, which is right there on the corner of Delavina and State Street, near the Samarkand area. And so they're going to purchase this, I think altogether, something like $9 million, and they're getting a $6 million loan from the city of Santa Barbara. And so they want to buy it and then renovate it and turn it into studio units for homeless people and people who make very, very low incomes. And so try to get them off the street. Now, the housing authority's perspective, this is a good thing because it's better to have them in a place with like counseling and therapy and job services, job placement, so that they're all contained. And they feel this is the right direction to go, that it's not a shelter, it's actually an apartment building once they renovate it. However, there are a lot of people who own a lot of really expensive homes in the Samarkand area.
Yeah, it sounds like once again, they didn't really connect with the neighbors before going ahead with this.
Yeah, they move forward. You know, part of real estate is when you have an opportunity, you got to jump on it. So they first acquired the land or cut the deal to acquire the land because they're competing with a private developer who could theoretically buy that and turn it into housing and have the community get upset about how tall it might be or something. So they jumped on that. And then they said, here's what we're going to do. They had a virtual meeting last week or a week before the council meeting, very well attended. The neighbors said, what are you doing? What are you talking about? And then some of them spoke at the council meeting, and they're upset because, you know, in their mind, they're seeing formerly homeless, very low income. And one woman spoke and said, we're talking about people who could have mental health problems, drug addiction, and you're going to consolidate them all here. And the city council and the housing authority says they're already there. It's the difference between them sleeping in the bushes or on the streets or you know, some business, as opposed to helping them get out of those situations. But very emotional situation for the people, some of the people who live in that area. It's a very high profile corner.
And your hero council member, Megan Harmon, spoke up and said, we're going to shove this down your throat, whether you like it or not. I'm paraphrasing there.
No, what she said was, Jerry, it's not a either or, it's a yes and. And so, yes, we need to do all these things. It can't just be one thing. And so this is one of them.
I sent her an email saying, you know, no vegetables were harmed in the making of this word salad. All right. Hey, Gwen, I know you got to go a little bit early, and I want to be sure to get to this. You and I had coffee not long ago, and you were telling me about a very exciting project that not just the Journal, but Montecito Media is putting together. We're going to break the news here globally on this one now. Go ahead and talk about it a little bit, if you would.
Yeah. So, you know, that we published the Giving List book. And we've been doing this for about 4 years, started
Which is a nonprofit, features nonprofits.
Yeah, we write about local nonprofits, and we try to write powerful stories for each of these nonprofits who actually pay to be in the book, full disclosure. And then we do a beautiful book that we send out to, you know, in some cases, tens of thousands of donors in a community. And over the last 4 or 5 years, and then we expanded to Giving List Los Angeles and Giving List Bay Area. And, you know, we've raised millions of dollars for organizations. And I got a call.
I don't imagine they'd pay to be in if they didn't get some return on it.
Yeah, I mean, it is, look, nonprofits pay for a lot of services, and this is hiring really good writers to write a powerful story. And it's, you know, it's expensive to produce these books. We're not getting rich off of these books, I can assure you. But anyway, I got a call a couple of years ago from a woman who is the chair of an organization called Women Moving Millions, and she lives in the Bay Area in Silicon Valley, and said, my family uses this book for our philanthropy. We love it. Would you ever consider doing a Giving List Women? And this sort of started the conversation. And now 2 years later, we are 3 months out from launching our first national book, which is the Giving List Women. We are we are not charging nonprofits to be in it other than a registration fee. And we're writing about 50 organizations around the world that focus on lifting up women and girls in every area of philanthropy, but it's all done through an intersectional lens. And the intention is not only to push billions of dollars towards organizations that support women and girls, because currently less than 2% of all philanthropic dollars in this country go towards organizations that focus on women and girls. And that's been static for 5 years. And that's a Lilly Family School of Philanthropy and a Gates Foundation statistic. Anyway, so we want not only to sort of push money in that direction, but to really shift the focus of women and girls from a lane in philanthropy to a lens in philanthropy, because it is really the most powerful lever for change in every area, whether it's the environment, social justice, the arts, women's reproductive rights, whatever area you care about, it is absolutely the strongest lever for change. And so we really want to give donors the fact-based justification to apply this lens to their giving. So we're printing 200,000 copies of the book.
Wow.
We're sending it to the top giving circles all over the country, the boards of the 67,000 organizations over the country that focus on women and girls, corporate leaders, policy leaders. And we're also writing about our 19 champion partner organizations who are all paying to be a part of this, to underwrite the nonprofits to be in the book.
And there's an event?
Yeah, so our partners are like Gates Foundation, Lilly Family School of Philanthropy, Women Moving Millions, Global Fund for Women, Philanthropy Together, Curve Foundation, Linked Foundation, New York Women's Foundation. We have, as I said, 19 partners, and they're all
that was pretty good. You got 10 off the top of your head. That was good.
I could keep going.
No, that's okay.
Did I say the Annenberg Foundation? Did I say anyway? So this is so on January, this is our branding for it, Women Doing It Differently. So we are having the first annual Giving Less Women Summit in Montecito, California, April 25th and 26th. Only 150 participants in the first one.
How many?
150. And people are coming from around the world. And we have some incredible participants. And our keynote production is going to be formerly Eve Ensler of the Vagina Monologues, is going to do a reading of her book, Reckoning, the introduction of her book, Reckoning, which is going to be read by V and Marissa Tomei and Maya Penn and another actor to be determined. But anyway, it's going to be an incredible kind of 2 days of, the first night is 12 dinners with 12 women hosted by different philanthropists in Montecito. Sort of Jeffersonian dinners, but we're going to find a more appropriate name for the women. And then the second day is all day breakfast, lunch, breakout sessions, keynotes, and that is all taken.
That sounds like a really big production.
It is. It was a lot to bite off. And I think we were really stunned. The reason we brought in all these champion partners is because really what we're trying to do is build a network of networks to take all these incredible people who are in their silos around the world, who understand that this is so important, and bringing them together to really strengthen this narrative and then push it out. So, I think we're certainly not the only ones thinking about this right now, but I think this is going to be really helpful in this effort. And I think that the book gives us kind of a unique way into this issue, an opportunity to help organizations raise money.
Yeah. More enterprise by the Montecito Journal, Montecito Media. Take heed, competitors. That's all I'm saying. Gwen
there are no competitors of the Montecito Journal.
No.
We're just doing it differently.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it sounds very exciting. It really does.
You want to talk quickly about the break-ins, Jerry?
Yeah. You had a little bulletin you sent out this morning about some break-ins. What's going on there?
Well, the night before last, there were 4 break-ins in Montecito. Montecito Carpinteria Goleta. I just looked it up. So we're going to be rolling out updates and doing a bigger piece on it next week. And we're in close conversation with Hillcrest Security, who is oversees some of these homes and certainly knows about what's going on, and also the sheriff. But this is, this is a big problem. They have seen a huge uptick in not just break-ins, but home invasions.
Wow. Okay.
So lock your doors. And it's unfortunate. The first 10 years we lived here, I don't think we had a key to our house.
Yeah.
So it is a different moment, and I think it is one of the negative pieces of being so on the radar of the world with all these kind of fancy people moving here.
Well, I blame Harry and Meghan. Meghan. All right. So Lily, I wanted to ask you, are you working election night? Gwen, thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. It's great to see you.
Appreciate it. All right.
You're
Thanks
right.
again. Are you working election
Yes.
night?
Yeah, I will be
I'm gonna be in studio this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you? Have you figured out, have you got your election night coverage or whatever you're doing? How are you gonna do
Well,
that?
we
I
did just
assume
get
you're
an
gonna be like in real time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we did just get an email that basically like PTO probably won't be approved for that day. It's going to be all hands on deck. The past two, so the last primaries, I created a whole voter guide page on the website. I'm guessing I'll probably get that going as well, for this year's, where I send out, first of all, the hardest part is getting all of the candidates' emails or like contact information is by far the hardest part. And then I send out like a survey, and then just with a couple questions, just like about them kind of, and then answer that. And so I have to make those all into individual web stories that I then put on this web page called the voter guide. And then when the reporters go and do more in-depth stories on each candidate, that also goes within those sections. It's just like a very organized, way to hear voices from each of the candidates. But on the night of the election, it's just chaos. Good chaos, but definitely chaos. We get these like
Now, are
our
you plugged into Joe Holland's office, to the elections office, and to the Secretary of State, so that you have
we get the live
totals
updates,
coming?
yeah, for the votes. That's what I was about to touch on, is our website and our app partners, like the companies that help us with our website and our app, send me like code that I then put into our website so that it kind of takes over the homepage. And the voter guide page, especially, I'll put in like different modules that we can get from from ABC, AP sometimes. Like I kind of get to pick and choose and design them, and that can be anything from like updating info, like infographics that continuously update on the website, with like maps. You can click on any part of California and see like how that vote is going for a certain election. So a lot of tools that were handed, and then throughout the night, the website, pretty much everywhere you are, you can see like top elections, and it'll continue updating throughout the night and until the votes are pretty much counted.
A lot of work. So Josh, you and I have been through a number of election nights. Some of them shorter than others. Do you see anything that's going to keep us up late, waiting for numbers to come in on March 5th? Do you think this third district supervisor's race maybe will be unclear about whether there's a runoff or not?
Well, when I first heard that Janelle Osborne and Frank Troyes were running, I thought, wow, it's going to be amazingly close. But Frank Troyes seems to be doing everything he can to take himself out of contention.
He's raised a lot of money, though. He has. I heard he's
how much money?
$350.
$350. Yes.
No. Yeah, I haven't confirmed that. That was just somebody told me 350,000, but I'll
well, I don't think that is true. But anyway, Frank's running a very unconventional campaign, and he is doing weird press releases, and I guess he thinks he's going to slide into the runoff just because he's the Republican. And I mean, I guess he probably will. Janelle Osborne, Mayor of Lompoc, She hasn't raised a whole lot of money, so I don't know. I don't think it's going to be very interesting on election night. I
You
mean, I
think
think
Joan's gonna? You think Joan will take it in the first
well,
round?
Joan will definitely be number one. It's possible she could win it outright. With more than 50%. I think so. We really need to see what happens over the next 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks or whatever, or month, I guess. But that's I don't know. I don't see anything. The first district won't be close. The third district won't be close. Bob Nelson's going to get reelected, so I don't really see anything that's too suspenseful locally.
Is the city of Santa Barbara has a measure that they're going to put on the ballot about changing the way that contracts are let, so you don't have to have necessarily lowest bid. Is that in March or is that in November?
I think that's in November. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it would make sense that it would be in November when the council is up for
Yeah. So the
re-election.
only statewide thing then, I guess, Lily, would be Proposition 1, which is the governor's proposal to for I think $6.5 billion bond to deal with mental health issues, to deal with homeless issues, which is more controversial than it seemed because he's kind of clawing back a bunch of money from the counties to help pay for that. And I think there's a lot of people who work for the county in those areas who are not altogether happy about it. But I don't know, the polling shows it's pretty good. All right. So, Lily, we going to see any more of your reporting on from the homeless enterprise you've been working on?
Yeah, I'm definitely hoping to expand on that. I don't have any immediate plans to, but that's definitely on my list.
All right,
Yeah.
Josh, what do you got going?
I just want to follow.
Supposed to be in interviewing together Supervisor Williams this week, but he had a family matter that came up, so we'll have to wait for that one. I'm sorry, Josh, I interrupted you.
Oh, I was just gonna go back to what Lily said. We went to Showers of Blessing, and I guess I wanted to ask Lily a question. Is what do you think as of that service that where people can go and get showers, and the women can pick up products that they need different from men, and it's at the back of a church, and it's one of those things for me I don't really think about. It's just like kind of cool. But what did you think? I know that's where you talked to Josephine
Yeah.
Lino. But what did you think of that whole program, that service?
I loved it. It like that was awesome to see. I I hope that more people go utilize that than what like, the amount of people that I saw there that day. Um, but it was just so well organized, and they really made it like as comfortable as possible for everybody. They had food, they had drinks, they had snacks, they had like like they had basketball and football, and the people that were waiting for the showers were all talking together. Like it was kind of, it's more than just offering them showers, it's offering them a sense of community. That's kind of what I gathered from it. Yeah, I think it's a really amazing program. And it's not something that you'd think about very often, because,
Hey,
the conversation's
come here.
focused around homelessness. So you don't think about the other, things that you do in a home, such as showering or playing sports.
Yeah, new clients get a 15-minute shower, and then returning clients get a 12-minute shower. And I mean, just imagine how good that feels. Like we take showers for granted, it's like
Yeah.
it's another shower. How good must that feel to get a shower twice a week or whatever it is. I know when I walk away from those settings, probably you too, Lily, is you just want to like kiss the ground you walk on and be like so thankful and grateful for your circumstances, that
Yeah.
even no matter what you're going on in your life, you're
Yeah.
grateful that you're not in that situation.
It was actually a really interesting transition when I was working on the story was when we interviewed Stretch that day. Like we walked around all morning talking to people. It was that same day, and it was later at night that I went to the Santa Barbara Film Festival event with Ryan Gosling, and it was such a strange mental
What a
switch for
contrast,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, going from one of those to the other, it was just it was pretty surreal. And you know, talking to two people that live on completely different ends of the spectrum of life.
Who did you like better, Ryan Gosling or Stretch?
Well, I talk to Stretch more than Ryan Gosling, so it's kind of hard to say.
And Stretch will welcome our pizza if we see him again.
Yeah, exactly.
Ryan Gosling, the only one that got nominated in Barbie, which is a really strange.
I thought America did too. America for
Yeah, she did. You're right.
Yeah.
She did, but Greta did not.
I know. Yeah, that was a big heartbreak.
And therein lies the problem.
Yeah, and I think it goes to what, you know, sort of in a way what Gwen was talking about. You know, that it's a lane, not a lens, about how you look at those kinds of issues. All right, well, let's leave it there. Josh Molina, Lily Dallow, thank you so much for being with us. Thanks everyone for watching, and Henry and I will be back next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.